Admittedly, there is a lot wrong currently with The Sims 4, and there are a lot of bugs that need to be fixed before they can even think about adding new features. But here are some features that I think would be great quality of life improvements for all Sims 4 players on console and PC. How's it going? It's Shiny Today here, and welcome to all of the features that I would really like to see added into The Sims 4 as a quality of life improvement. A lot of these I have discussed on my Twitch streams before, because as we go through gameplay, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what would be so great, or you know what would be so fantastic. Some of these are very me gameplay orientated, specifically with my baby challenge that I play on Twitch, but a lot of them are very much, I think a lot of simmers could benefit from this, especially if they're gameplay simmers, but I do have some CAS in there as well. So let's jump into my list, shall we? First and foremost, above everything else, whether you're playing with the simple living lot trait or you just have a lot of guests over and they're continuously making white cakes, I would very much like the way that we can lock doors to disallow visitors, household only, specific sims, or lock for specific sims. And considering that computers and laptops have the same availability for locking and security features, I would like to lock my fridge door. Then townies wouldn't be able to randomly come and visit and make a bunch of white cakes. Other sims in your household won't naturally try and burn your house down because they're trying to cook something despite there being leftovers. The most annoying thing is when you're currently playing Rags to Riches and you have the simple living lot trait, buying things like milk and bread, they're expensive. And then you have a random sim come into your house and help themselves to a glass of milk. Excuse me, are you going to give me money to buy more groceries? No, I don't think so. You're just going to half drink your glass of milk and then leave. Speaking of the fridge, depending on the time of day, you can either serve or have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? And then there's an awkward between, I want to say 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. where there's nothing and you have to go through the cook menu. And especially if you have City Living installed and you've added a bunch of extra meals, and as you go through your culinary journey, there's more meals added and all of those great things. There's eventually a lot of food to go through breakfast, lunch, dinner menus, or also even if you're scrolling through, never mind the gourmet meals, just the regular home-style cooking meals as well. What I would like is I would like an additional little menu item within everything called favorite meals, where you can, the same as in your inventory, have favorited items. I would very much like to be able to favorite meals, either by going through the cook menu, or if you have made the dish already, clicking on it and say add to favorites. Then if you go to the fridge again, any time of day, regardless of breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can go to favorites, and then there's an entire array of grilled cheese and fruit salad and mac and cheese and chicken stir fry. Those are just some of my personal favorites that I like my Sims to eat. I would love to be able to have this, because then it saves me from going 5,000 pages through looking for a specific meal, going past it, and then having to go through the levels again, or going through the entire cook menu. And if you play on console, that load time is a little bit long, so at least let us favorite meals so they can either be at the top of the cook menu or have their own little dialogue on the fridge to say make favorite meals, and then there's group meals for grilled cheese and mac and cheese and whatever else there is. I think that would be a great value add and stop us from going through 5,000 pages, especially if you have all the content, and considering how they keep adding additional meals, which I love, but there's a lot of them now. Keeping along the same type of mindset, I would also like to be able to favorite certain interactions or have a frequently used interaction within your circle of friendly, mischief, mean, whatever. They should be frequently used. It gets a lot, especially if you're like looking for get to know, or if you're looking for deep conversation. Once again, you're going through the more options, you miss it, and then you have to go through the entire loop again. If there could be a frequently used in that circle, that would be amazing. Then also actually think about Talk Like a Pirate Day, New Year's Eve, if you've got seasons installed, any type of holiday related interactions. If those could have a special time limited Pirate Day, and then you can have all your Pirate Day options, or you can have New Year's and you can have all of your New Year's options, because it's the most frustrating thing, especially in the friendly category, where you're looking for the little things with the little icons. This could also work into the traits if you're like a music lover and you want to talk about bass violinist or whatever. They could be like trait specific, so I don't know. I would just very much like to have the social integration be a little bit more streamlined, because if I have to go through friendly and then more choices, Oh no, I went too far. I have to go through all of them again to go find the interaction for blowhorns or New Year's or be thankful on Harvest Fest. Then if we move over to CAS, I think I speak for every simmer ever in the fact that the feature from Sims 3 where you could lock makeup or accessories or whatever for all outfits, please, that would be incredible if we could set makeup for one outfit and apply it to all, and obviously make changes as you want, but if you could lock it or set for all outfits, that would be incredible. Same goes for accessories, same goes for nails, any type of thing that can be different from outfit to outfit. But for those of us who don't necessarily enjoy CAS and would like a little bit of a quality of life improvement, please let us lock makeup for all outfits or select for all outfits, or even if you can choose, like the same as how you filter through your packs for your content in CAS, the menu's already there. If you could say under, I don't know, the makeup slider, for example, on the eyeshadows, if there could be a little drop down and be like, apply to everyday, party, formal, outdoor, warm weather and cold weather. Can you imagine how much time that would save? Jumping back into live mode though, with the recent story progression that they've added, and I've already discussed this in my story progression video, if we have to go through the mailbox and check recent stories, just go recent stories and then give us a list of everything that's happened. That would be amazing. One time, all the stories. I would love that because new story, nothing recently has happened. Then these last few are very me gameplay orientated and would be nice to have, but don't necessarily or might not necessarily affect other people's gameplays, but I know I would appreciate them more. Someone may or may not have a lot of tombstones in their baby challenge, and every time we go and visit the family graveyard, it's always a lot of hard work to try and find the connections that you need to strengthen in and amongst all of the tombstones. So you know how when you either strengthen a connection or you release a connection or you release a spirit, you know how it's got that like funky, ghosty vibes around the tombstone? If there's a tombstone that requires strengthening after the amount of time before a spirit starts fading away, if the tombstones could have some form of notification or some form of like glow or ominous like smoke, that would be great because it would be an identifier from like a quick glance of, okay, weekend connection, these strengthening. Like I said, that's probably just a me situation. Speaking of just me situations, I would also very much like, you know how when you are planting or you are gardening and it says water all, or your sim will autonomously, if you plant one item, it will also plant all the other seeds or plants or produce in the immediate area. Can we have the same for CowPlants? And I'm not saying that they should autonomously feed CowPlants, because honestly, if you've got CowPlants on your lot, I have 20, hi, shout out to the Moo crew, but if you have CowPlants on your lot and you want your Sims to die potentially haphazardly through going to eat the cake, rad. But if I am actively looking after my army of cowplants, and if I've chosen to feed one cowplant, if there are any other hungry cowplants in the area, I do wish that the Sims could autonomously continue feeding the rest of the cowplants. It's still user-driven, but it would save me having my queue fill up every couple of interactions and then accidentally forgetting to feed one of the 20. But granted, I don't ever think that the Sims ever intended on having 20 cowplants on a lot at the same time and actually keeping them alive. But like I said, shout out to the Moo crew. For those of you who have been on my Twitch channel, you would know my cowplant army is everything, and I do love them, and I take a lot of time and effort and pride in feeding them. But if Lacey could also autonomously feed them after I've specifically chosen to feed one of them, and then she could go down this line of succession, that would be great. Then finally, there's something else I would like to add. Now when you do homework and it says just started, or 25%, or 50%, or 75%, or complete, I would really love them to have some form of identifier in terms of percentage for the project that you can complete through Parenthood. Now, I know there are different visual cues as to how far the project has been completed, but honestly, if I don't know how long the Sim's been working on it for and they've got like an hour to get to school, if we're still only at like 25%, I'm not going to bother having the child trying to race to finish it before school. If you have any other quality of life improvements that you would like to see in the game, please let me know in the comments below, and then maybe we can have a further discussion about it. But as always, that is going to be the video. I hope you all did enjoy. As always, if you did, make sure to leave that like, subscribe if you're new around here. Remember that we're all human differently, and I'll see you humans again soon. Dag dag!